Hello lovely people, welcome to the Geek Cupboard, I'm Penge, and welcome to day 11 of the Geek Cupboard's Fes-tea-ve Advent Countdown 2022. So here we are once again with the wonderful T2 Advent Calendar. However, we do find ourselves in a very similar situation to where we were a couple of days ago. So normally at this point in the video, we'd open up the Advent Calendar, we'd find the right door, we'd look at the little kind of gold thing on the door, we'd open up the door, we'd get out the tea, and then we'd go and make the tea. And I've just done all of that, apart from the making the tea bit. I've opened the calendar up and talked about what was on the door and opened the door up and looked at the tea and mused about the tea, and then I went away to actually brew the tea. I pressed stop recording on my phone, and my phone once again, I'm pointing at you phone, my phone once again decided to not keep any of that video at all. It went, oh, okay, I'm glad you wanted to record that. I don't want to keep this at all. Goodbye, away with it. And it just vanished into nothing. And it was a bit confusing, and I got a little bit of a huff with my phone, so I went to investigate and I figured out what the problem is, so hopefully it won't happen again. It was a storage issue. So what happens is I record these, so I record them onto my phone, and then I download them from my phone onto the computer so I can edit them and make videos and such, and then on my phone I delete them. And I thought when they were deleted from my phone that would kind of be it, they'd just be gone. But no, they kind of sit in a recycle bin type thing that I never knew was there, and it remains there for 30 days, I think it is. So of course, because I'm recording these daily, because I'm recording, one every day of the Fes-tea-ve Advent Countdown videos, they're quite big. They take up a fair bit of space, so they've all been kind of piling up in the recycle bin type thing on my phone, and it kept running out of space. It kept just running out of room to store things. So it's getting to a certain point, so I'm going, nah, too big, can't keep that, goodbye. So that was the problem. So I've gone to clear out an awful lot of space, and I will make sure that I will keep clearing things out, so we won't get that kind of, broken kind of video thing again. So hopefully it won't happen again, but here we go. Now I know what's coming here, but let's open up the Advent Calendar and look for door number 11. I suspect I might know where it is. Oh look, it's down here in this corner. Who'd have thought that, eh? So there we go. Right down in this corner here, and the little kind of gold thing says, treat yourself, which is a very lovely thing. Thank you, Advent Calendar. I mean, having the tea from here is a treat in itself, but I will treat myself. I've got an idea of what I'd like to do. I think this is a bit of a weird picture for this. So it says, treat yourself. Okay, so why would I, if I were treating myself, give myself a present that I've wrapped up? Because surely if I'm treating myself, I'm treating myself to a thing that I know what it is. So I don't need to wrap up the present and put a bow on it because I know what's inside because I've treated it to myself. So that's a little bit of a weird picture for that. But there we go. So I've got a perfect idea. When I go to make the tea, I'm going to bring something up as a little treat to myself, and it's going to be wonderful. So yes, I know what we're doing with that. And now let's just open up the door, even though I can't open it because I've pushed it in, which is what I do with the ones that have been opened already. Hang on a minute. You didn't see this, right? Hang on, just hang on. Power of magic. Look, if I do that, look, no one will suspect a thing. Oh, and I'm just going to get that out of there. Oh gosh, look, it's one of these things. It's a sort of a mustard coloured bag that perfectly came out of that door and wasn't just down on the table beside me there. So the message says, a positive mindset brings perfectly brewed tea, which I do like. That sounds very profound indeed. And then turn it over, we've got Earl Grey. We've got Earl Grey today, which is very exciting because I do like Earl Grey. I like a cup of Earl Grey. Earl Grey is a Sri Lankan black tea combined with the citrus delights of bergamot, generating an elegant and balanced full flavour cup. An afternoon tea essential, and I like that there. I like how it says enjoy with, perfect on its own, because Earl Grey should be served just as it is. I've seen people put milk into Earl Grey, and it's just not right. You don't put milk into Earl Grey. It makes it taste all a bit weird. So now you have it just as it is on its own. You have it black, and that's kind of it. I mean, maybe if you wanted to, you could put a tiny bit of sugar in, but that might make it a bit weird. That might make Earl Grey a bit weird. But no, we're not going to do anything like that. We're just going to have it lovely and on its own, as advised by the tea wrapper thing here. So here we go. We know what tea we're going to have. I'm also going to bring up a lovely treat as well. So now we need to go to the kettle. And here we are with our lovely, freshly brewed cup of Earl Grey tea. And to look at it, it does look good, doesn't it? Look at that. That is a proper brew right there. Nice and strong. If you can't see the bottom of the mug, that's a good indicator that you have a strong tea. And it's really difficult to see the bottom of the mug with that black tea there. So it's going to be a nice strong tea, which I do quite like. I mean, to smell this, it smells of Earl Grey, which is no great surprise, but I'm not entirely sure how different Earl Grey tea can smell. It just smells like Earl Grey, doesn't it? So it's all going to be in the taste. So here we go. Let's have a taste of this one. I'm looking forward to this. That's very nice. That is a very good cup of Earl Grey. It's got that sort of nice bitterness to it that you have with black tea generally. So it's got that, but it's not too bitter. It's not sort of overpowering. But then you've got the lovely kind of the Earl Grey sort of, that kind of sort of citrusy, florally kind of flavour coming through. That's quite well, would I say it's well balanced? Or full-bodied? I don't quite know what the difference is. It seems to work quite well. Hang on. Yeah, that is good. That is a very good Earl Grey. Yeah, it's got that kind of nice bitterness to it, but then it's complemented by the sort of the Earl Greyness, I would say. So the bergamot or whatever it is, it sort of that goes well with it. So it's not too much. It's kind of a nice sort of smooth drink. Because sometimes you have Earl Grey and it's either a bit too bitter and that kind of makes your mouth go a bit, sort of like it dries your mouth out a bit, or it can have too much of the kind of the citrusy, kind of florally type aspect to it, and it gets a little bit sickly to drink. That kind of balances it out very well. That properly hits the nail on the head. I'm very impressed. That is a very good cup of Earl Grey. Okay, I'm having more. Yes, I approve. I approve of this cup of Earl Grey. Okay, right. I'm very happy with the tea. So here we go. Let's go on to the question, shall we? So today's question comes from Seriously Will. And I did have a little look, and it seems that Seriously Will is a young aspiring YouTubey person, which is wonderful. So go and have a little look at Seriously Will's channel and go and support them, because it's going to be those people in the future, isn't it? That's who are all going to be watching on YouTube, and we shall be sitting there. People like me shall be watching them from our lovely, cosy rocking chairs, watching the new superstars go about and do their stuff. So, yeah, Seriously Will, it looks like he plays some Roblox stuff, which I don't play, but also he has played Tabs, a totally accurate battle simulator, which we played a long time ago now. It seems like a long while ago. But yeah, go and check out Seriously Will's channel. Let's support the new generation of YouTubers, shall we? I'll put a link in the video description, but you can just search for it as well, I imagine. But okay, so Seriously Will says, what is your favourite strategy game you have played on your channel? And that's a very good question, because we've played quite a lot. And when I read this question, I went and made a list. So we played Civilization 5 right at the very beginning of the channel. That was quite early on. And then we played Civ 6. We played Crusader Kings 3. There's RimWorld, XCOM, because I'd say XCOM is a strategy game. Played Frostpunk, that's sort of a strategy survival game. City of Gangsters, Anno 1800. That's a strategy game as well. I mean, they're all good, and they've all got their own pros and cons. And that probably isn't the definitive list of strategy games either. We've probably played many more than that in all sorts of various different forms. But I think they're probably the most notable ones. And I think if I had to whittle it down, it's hard to whittle that list down because they're all sort of different in their own way. But I would say if I had to pick a favourite strategy one, I can't really pick a favourite, but okay, it would be between Civilization 6, RimWorld, and Crusader Kings 3. But they're all very different. I mean, RimWorld is very much unlike the others. So RimWorld is, sort of like a base building survival thing. Civ 6 is a civilization building game. And Crusader Kings 3 is like a sort of a medieval role-play game almost, because you take control of a character. So they're all different. So, I mean, Civ 6, you don't really have a character to play as. There's no real characters. You get heroes and you can pick your what they call like the mayors or whatever. You pick the people who you assign to your cities, them guys. But you don't sort of play as a character as such. Whereas RimWorld has many characters in it, they all interact, and in Crusader Kings 3, you are a character and you deal with other characters and you can roleplay it a bit like we've been doing on the channel. So they're all quite different things, and I mean they've all got different objectives. Civ 6 is to, complete a victory in whatever you set the settings as, so you might be doing it anyhow, you might be going for a science victory or whatever. RimWorld's objective is to not die, I think most of the time, and don't starve to death, and then try and get off the planet. And Crusader Kings it doesn't really have a set goal, you make it your own goals, but to just kind of tell a story and tell a tale and enjoy what you're doing and, try and grow an empire or grow a realm or whatever. So they're all sort of different. And it's really hard to pick one because I've had fun with all of them. I mean, RimWorld. I think RimWorld is one of the best series we have on the channel. I really, really, really enjoyed playing RimWorld. And I think part of that was because it's a really brilliant game. And part of it is because it was kind of lived sort of half from playing the game and then maybe half through the comments. because I didn't really know what I was doing, particularly early on. I was a bit mystified to everything. So I'd finish recording and the video would go out, and I'd read the comments and people would go, no, you need to do this, or put a generator there, or put a door here, or don't forget to do the important thing. And then I kind of go, okay. So I write down a little kind of sort of sheet of things to do when I went back next time. And I do that. And I kind of felt like, we were sort of taking part in RimWorld together as a team. It was kind of, I was pushing the buttons and doing some of the stuff, but then you lovely people out there were kind of chipping in and helping out as well. It was kind of like a team effort. So that's, I have fond memories of RimWorld for that. And it's really good as well. It's really good. It's very dramatic. It's got good challenges. It's well balanced, all that kind of stuff. So it works out well. But then Civ. I love playing Civ. Civ is one of my favourite game series of all time. I remember playing... Okay, right, you might want to get an idea of how old I am. I remember playing Civilization 2 back about 15,000 years ago, a long time ago now, and thinking it was brilliant. I was like, this is incredible. And then Civ 3 wasn't quite so great, but Civ 4 was good, and then Civ 5 was very good, and Civ 6 I think is the best one. I know a few people will say, oh no, it's not, but I think Civ 6 is the best iteration of Civ, and I like playing that as well, because you can kind of, you can either go and do fighty stuff. If you want to go and do fighty stuff, that's fine. But you don't have to. You can quietly go and build your cities. You can have like a gigantic sprawling empire of many cities, or you can have a smaller, more focused empire of just a few cities, which is normally how I play. I don't like having a great big kind of sprawling empire with lots of cities and lots of population spread about the place, but the cities aren't quite as good as they could be. They're doing okay, but they're lacking certain buildings. I like to have a smaller amount of cities, but then make sure they've got everything and they can do. And then they can just go on and be brilliant. So that's kind of how I play Civ 6. I play it tall, not wide. That's what people would say, I think. But that's completely different as well. That's got a different kind of way of doing stuff. You have to defend, and you've got diplomacy, and you go and attack people, and then you've got your different troops, and you start with, cavemen with big sticks, and you end up with gigantic death robots. It kind of works its way through time. And you have sort of strategy to work around that. You have to think about what you want to do and where you want to focus. And in sort of, the later, sort of with the DLC of Civ, you then have to look at maybe if other people are polluting the world with, with CO2 emissions and all that kind of stuff, maybe you need to focus on getting some flood defences in before your cities flood and all that kind of stuff. So you kind of have to sort of react to what's around you, but you do move through. So you start with one tech and then you end up with super futuristic tech. And then Crusader Kings 3 is different again, because in that, I would say it's more about playing the characters. I mean, you could just say, there's a character, that's great, but it's about building a gigantic realm. But it doesn't have to be about that. I would say it's about the tale you tell and what happens on the journey. So if you were playing and you had an empire and then it fractured and it broke into bits, that wouldn't be the end of the game. Because that would just be a thing that happened in real life, that happened in actual history many times, I assume. So that is that's part of it. So then you could just go back again and just try again and try and get your sort of lost bits of land back or whatever, and you could go from there. So I think they're all different, and you play a character in Crusader Kings. You try and role play it. So if you're a nice character, you try and be more sort of gentle and understanding, and if you're a more sort of wrathful, vengeful, paranoid character, you go around doing all sorts of murdering and fighting and killing and generally being a grumpy pants. So it's Crusader Kings 3 is brilliant. It's very good. I never played Crusader Kings 2. I got given a key by Paradox for Crusader Kings 3 and went, oh, brilliant. And I do recall, actually, this is going off tangent a bit, but I got the key while I was away on holiday. And then I got back home, and it was a bit, right, okay, when's the deadline? Like, when's the embargo to put videos out? Tomorrow. And it's a bit, right, so I've got to try and learn Crusader Kings 3 in about half a day, because we had half a day left before I could then sort of, play it. And then, then it was bedtime for everybody, and then get up the next day. And I had to sort of have it done. And I remember kind of trying to cram it all in. I wrote notes down and stuff. And really, it's one of those games which you just have to kind of do by playing it. You just have to kind of play it. And again, that was a little bit in the early days of the Cupboard CK3 run, the first one we did. That was also a little bit kind of lived through the comments. Lots of people saying, oh, no, you don't want to do that, or, you've not done that right, or don't forget this, or that actually means this. So again, that was kind of lived through the comments. But then I think by the end of it, I kind of sort of knew what I was doing, more or less. There are a few bits I probably missed out on. But again, so a complete different experience to the other two. So I don't know if I can pick a favourite, because that would be kind of sort of belittling the other two in some way. It'd be saying they're not as good. And they're all equally as good, I would say, in their own right, for different reasons. Civ 6 got the lovely kind of progression through time and the different ways to win. RimWorld has got the wonderful characters and the kind of crazy anarchic kind of way the story unfolds. And Crusader Kings 3 has got a wonderful level of role-playing where you can make your own tale as you go about working through history and sort of, that sort of time period of, well, whenever you start it, 800 through to 1400-ish, is it? So they're all sort of different in their own way. And I don't think I can pick a favourite one. So I'm going to pick 3. Seriously will. I'm going to have 3 of those. I'm going to pick Civ 6, RimWorld, and Crusader Kings 3. That's not to say that the others aren't good. Like Frostpunk. Frostpunk is incredible. Frostpunk is a brilliant, brilliant game. Frostpunk 2 comes out soon. It will be on the channel. XCOM. XCOM is fantastic. I had a good time playing that. But I had to pick one. I didn't pick one. I picked 3. So they're the 3 I would pick, I think. Hopefully that's okay. I wouldn't get my treat. Oh, hang on, I've forgotten my treat. Hang on, wait there, I'm going to get my treat. Because the advent calendar told me to get a treat. Hold fire there, I'm going to go get a treat. There we go, some lovely jelly babies. I do quite like a nice jelly baby from time to time. I got these for my birthday, so they do seem like a very nice treat indeed. So we'll have some of these, I think. This wasn't what I went looking for, although it was a very nice thing to find in the little kind of treat drawer thing. I did go looking for a Freddo. I went looking for a little Freddo chocolate tree because I thought that would go well with the Earl Grey tea over here. But alas, we haven't got any left. But I wanted to find a Freddo. We have seen a Freddo chocolate bar already on the Fes-tea-ve Advent Countdown this year. It appeared in the very first part on day 1 where I was using it to perform the international measurement standard of how sort of deep the advent calendar was, and it was precisely 1 Freddo deep. But yeah, Freddos, they're just like a chocolate frog. They're a Cadbury dairy milk chocolate frog, and they're only little. They're like little things, but they're quite good just to get a nice chocolatey hit. They're just a lovely little thing. And you don't want a massive chocolate bar itself. Just want a little bit of a chocolate hit. You can have a Freddo. And I do like them. And when you open it up, they've got a little kind of face, a Freddo-y face. You have to eat the head first, of course. Otherwise, it's a bit mean to poor Freddo if you eat his legs first and his head's still intact. Because that sounds painful. So you have to eat him from the top down. But, you're eating a chocolate frog. It's fine. I'm sure it'll let you off. So yeah, I was looking for those. But no. Found jelly babies instead. Couldn't find any Freddos. Must have gone through all those. So, yes, I shall have some jelly babies. We've not opened these yet. But look, you might not know what these are. Very quickly, let's get these out and just have a look. They're just little kind of tiny, sugary sort of jello, depending on where you are in the world, sort of sweets. Just little tiny things. You probably can't see very well. It's probably not going to focus very well. But they're just little kind of things with sort of like a sort of icing, sugary kind of frosting on them. And they're really nice. And they're very yummy to eat. But yes, I shall have some of these as the treat to myself, as instructed by the advent calendar. And I think that's it. We've got the tea, we've got the treat, we've answered the question, we can finish things up. So for now, thank you very much for joining me on day 11 of the Fes-tea-ve Advent Countdown 2022, and I will see you next time. Kunik, your time is now. And you have missed, Kunik. This is unacceptable, Kunik. An Ash's caravan has been ambushed by man-hunting chinchillas. Are you going to land on my potatoes? That is just not the done thing. Oh, there's a lot of them. 1, 2, 3. These guys have got amazing hair. I'm delighted that we've actually done something and it's worked.